And let's hide that. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream tonight. After foolishly not having audio on, let's try this again. So for tonight's stream, we're going to be jumping into the Robot Raiders solo mode. I'm going to go through, explain the rules of the game. If you watched the previous stream, you should have a good idea how it works, but things in solo work a little bit differently. So I'll just go through the rules again. I'll explain the anatomy of the cards, how the turns work, and then we'll jump into setting up our robot and playing. We're going to be cranking the difficulty up to the highest level tonight because I would definitely like a challenge. After playing this so many times, I'm always looking for something fun to get into. So our robot for today that I'm going to play is going to be the Magical Combustion Unit. So I really like this robot. It's also a little bit unique to be taking a mage with no tank into a dungeon. So I figured it'd be quite interesting to highlight some of the different ways of playing this robot. So previously we had the Augment Flame On. That was being played in our 4-player game. I'm going to choose a different augment today. This is going to be Fan the Flames. This is the one that was also in our preview on Instagram. So if you haven't actually taken a look at our Instagram yet, feel free to do so. And we're going to build our deck a little bit around this augment. Weirdly enough, Flame On is actually the one that I'd prefer to take for solo, but I'd like to show you guys some new content. So let's jump over to the table. So what we have here is our setup. I've removed the other robots just so that we've got a very easy way of setting it up. So we've got our robot and we've got the boss. I've laid out some cards here, so I'll show you the anatomy of a card in just a second. The first thing I'll do is explain my robot, because this is the important part. We have 18 hit points. If that hits 0, our robot is scrapped and we are donezos. So our goal is to not let that happen. In the top left, you can see that we have 3. This is the amount of energy we generate each turn. So our cards have energy costs to play them. We get 3 every turn. We don't get more. We don't get less if it doesn't carry over. So spend it wisely. Our robot power is based around magic counters, and what we can see from that little tagline in the middle is that we have a maximum of 5 magic counters at any time. I'll explain how we get those, but the key thing is when I use Ignite, I can draw new cards, or if I'm going to deal spell damage, I can spend those counters to increase the damage. So very, very useful skill for us to have if we want to start setting things on fire, which is definitely what we're in the market for. To explain the decks of the robots, initially when you start playing, your robot has a basic deck of 10 cards. These are always the same cards in every raid, and you're going to be adding cards from your advanced deck, and you're going to be choosing different upgrades from your upgrade pile so that you can make the experience a little bit different. We'll go ahead and flip these over because these are 2 of the basic cards that are in the mage deck. We have an attack card. This is Fire Blast. It costs 1 energy. After we play it, it goes to our junk folder. So you can think of that as like a graveyard if you've played other card games. And this card, it deals 2 damage. It has a little bit of extra text, but I'll explain the specific mechanics of that when we get to it. We also have Fire Shield in our deck, which gives us guard. This will reduce the damage that we're going to take. So think of that as temporary hit points. The turn order in Robot Raiders is it always goes monster first, and then you go over to the robots. So what we're going to be doing for this game is we're playing automated, is the boss will take a turn, then I'll take a turn, and then the boss will take a turn. And I'll explain exactly how the boss plays as we jump into it. We do have a tutorial boss. This is first of all. So if you've not played card games before, you want to ease yourself into Robot Raiders, we do highly recommend that you go ahead and take this one on first. It's also actually pretty challenging if you try and fight this boss without any advanced cards. But to explain the anatomy of this card, this has 16 HP and it also has 3 energy per turn. We're not so much worried about the energy per turn when we're playing solo, but if you're playing multiplayer, that's what it does. So we're just going to go ahead and jump straight into Doran the Spider Cultist. With 20 HP and an ability that creates more spiderlings. It's quite an annoying boss because the way that it works is every time you kill a spiderling, it is going to punish you by making you send the top card of your deck to the junk folder. Then when you reload, so whenever your deck is empty, you need to draw a card or do something with your deck, you shuffle your junk folder back into your deck, and then you carry on playing. So you play with a very small deck size, and one of the biggest skills that you're going to have to learn in Robot Raiders is to figure out where your cards are and how you're going to get to them when you need them. Doran, every time you reload, gets a thing called Titan counters, and that plays into the augments. So what I want to show you here is the augments. Each monster has 3 of those, and that will allow you to adjust how the raid plays out. And as you can see, these augments are double-sided. So if we're playing solo, we get ourselves a different augment. I also realize I've actually just flipped that deck over, so that's one for a little bit later. Let's go here. Yes, so we're going to be playing Doran the Coward. If Doran gets 4 Titan counters, so if I reload my deck 4 times, you sacrifice the Spider Cultist, and then a bunch of Spiderlings are going to come in play. So that's going to be a little bit hard for me because the next boss, you don't want them to have lots of Spiderlings, but we'll get to that. Lastly, we're also going to be playing with the dungeon augment. So there's 3 dungeon augments overall. You choose one at the beginning of the game, and this stays in play for the entirety of the game. These are also double-sided. So this is more balanced around the game being solo. So it's toned down a little bit so that if they're more manageable. Because if you want to just give yourself a little ultra challenge, try playing on these harder ones. But I'd recommend just using the solo version. It just explains how to automate things, and it's more fair in what we originally designed for. So with that sorted, I need to go ahead and choose my starting cards. So we get a pool. Well, first of all, let's go ahead and take a look at our advanced cards. Not our advanced cards, sorry. We're going to choose our upgrades, and we're going to be going ahead and choosing Fan the Flames today. We did Flame On before in our previous stream. So I'm going to be taking Fan the Flames, which says if I spend free energy on a single card, this is going to allow me to discard up to 3 cards and then draw that many cards. If I discard an attack and a defense card, I gain a magic counter. So I'm intentionally choosing probably one of the worst matchup augments against Doran, because if you remember, if we get through our deck too quickly, Doran is going to blow up and create lots of Spiderlings. But that could potentially play into my strategy a little bit later. So next we have our pool of advanced cards, and I'm going to go ahead and choose my 2 advanced cards to add to my deck at the start of the game. So we're going to come here and let's search. For this encounter, I'm going to be taking Lava Bomb because Lava Bomb is just incredibly powerful. And I think I'll also go with... I will take an Incinerate. So to explain these cards, these are you get much better value from playing your advanced cards than you would your basic cards, but the basic cards are part of the important part of the kit. Incinerate just deals 4 spell damage. If we overkill, which means if we deal more damage than a minion or a boss has HP, we gain a magic counter. So this is going to let us basically get anything nasty out of our face and let us get our counters. Then we have Lava Bomb. Lava Bomb will deal 3 damage to the boss and 1 damage to each minion. Actually, considering we're playing Fan the Flames, I am going to do something different. So you guys will get a view of another option that we're going to include. I could take Fire Rain. In fact, we're going to take Fire Rain because it was part of our previews today on our Instagram. So Fire Rain, it deals 4 spell damage divided as you choose across any number of targets, and I can increase this with spell damage. So if I have a bunch of counters, I can just pump a ton of damage onto the enemy. So with that, we have our deck setup of 12 cards, our upgrade, and we're ready to go. So we go ahead and give a good shuffle to the minion deck. So this will be where we get our Spiderlings from, but I'll explain that when they come out. And we'll go ahead and shuffle the boss's deck. The boss is going to go ahead and take the first turn. And since we're playing solo, we take a look at the boss, and it says we manifest Spiderlings equal to the number of robots. So we just go ahead and chuck a Spiderling in for free. These minions, they have a attack value and a HP value. If the HP hits 0, they are dead. The Spiderlings, they go back to the Spiderling deck, so you'll never run out when you're playing. Whenever it says to make a Spiderling, you'll always have one, unless this whole pile's in play, in which case your team are probably dead. So try not to let that happen. As we are only 1 robot in this raid, we're going to go ahead and just play the top card of the boss's deck. And that is going to be Heart of the Swarm. So what we do here is we manifest Spiderlings equal to the boss tier, and we can see that we're currently on boss tier 1. That's what that little tab in the middle says. So we make a Spiderling, and then we gain guard equal to the number of Spiderlings we control. So we'll go ahead and put that in the boss's mausoleum. That's basically their junk folder. It just works a little bit differently. So we're going to go ahead and make another Spiderling, and then the boss is going to generate 2 guard. So whenever you would deal damage, you always reduce guard first. If guard hits 0, It causes guard break on its own. This does nothing, but there are some effects that are affected by this, so just keep that in mind. Also, guard expires at the start of the round. So if you're the monster at the start of your next turn, if you have any guard, you take it off. And then for the robots, when you come to act, you take your guard off. So key thing there is you in this game, you want to play just enough to guard. You don't want to spend too much on guard. So we've played the one card for the turn for Doran, and we've made two Spiderlings. So normally these little frenzied ones can attack the turn that they are played. Most other Spiderlings cannot, and minions can attack the turn that they're played, except for the very first turn of the game. So nice and easy. We take a look, and there's nothing else to resolve. So we come over to our mage turn. So we're going to give this a bit of a shuffle, and we draw 5 cards at the start of the game. I also should probably assign myself a color here, so we could just go ahead and draw our 5 cards. Not the spot I particularly wanted to be in because we haven't drawn any of our advanced cards, but at the start of our turn in our boot sequence, we get to draw a card up to 6. And since we're playing solo, we get access to this very powerful card over here called the Solo Raider's Boon. This lets us, at the start of our turn, choose one of these effects each turn to apply. In this case, I don't think I need the additional card. I could take the guard, actually. So yeah, I'll go ahead and just take free guard to put on my robot because it's completely free. And here's the awkward situation that I have. If I kill these Spiderlings, there's a high chance I'm going to lose my advanced cards. And I'm just trying to decide whether or not, because then I'll lose a turn of not be a round of not being able to play Fan the Flames. But for the purposes of making this fun, I will go ahead and Fire Blast one of these Spiderlings. So we'll just go ahead and chuck that on the bottom of the deck. You can make it a little bit harder if you want to introduce house rules. So one of the house rules that I like to use once you get familiar with the game is that you just give them a separate junk folder and then you just reload it each time. The reason for this is you can memorize the order of the Spiderlings, and then when you get very good at the game, you'll know how the cycle goes. So I like to just make sure it's randomized always throughout the game. So I'm just going to put that there. We're going to lose, of course, our first advanced card, Lava Bomb. And we're going to gain a magic counter. So remember, we had overkill on our Fire Blast. So we dealt 2 damage to a 1 HP minion, so we'll overkill and get a magic counter. That'll be useful a little bit later. Next, I will go ahead and kill the other one. We'll keep those under control. We'll flip the next card. That's good. We've got 1 energy left, and I'm trying to figure out whether or not playing this will only deal 2 damage to the boss's guard. I could eat both of these magic counters in order to get some damage through, but that feels a little bit ineffective. We've got free guard. I'm feeling pretty good about that, so I'm just not going to spend the energy and hold on to the cards. So with that, we come back to the boss's turn. So the boss has less than 3 Spiderlings, so we're going to manifest X number of Spiderlings, which is going to be 1. And please let me know in chat if you want me to zoom in on anything or if you want me to explain anything that's currently not being not clear. And I'll go ahead and do that. So this Spiderling just can't attack the turn it's played. It's the basic one, so we get a little bit of breathing room off of this. We also have to expire the guard, if you remember, at the start of the boss's turn. And then the boss will play the top card of the deck. I was worried about this one. The Jumping Hunting Spider. So when it attacks, the attack target loses 2 guard. We have 3 guard at the moment, so that will come into play. So we've done everything that the boss needs to do for its turn. Whenever minions attack in solo mode, you always do newest to oldest. This one can't attack the turn it's manifested, so we're fine from this one. However, the Jumping Hunting Spider is going to go ahead and attack. First thing that happens is we're going to lose 2 guard because it's effect and go to 1 guard. Next, this 2 power minion is going to remove the rest of my guard and deal me 1 damage. So we're going to lose 1 HP. And then that concludes the boss's turn. So we come back to myself. I will draw a card. Fire Rain. We like ourselves a Fire Rain. And we're going to take our Solo Raider's Boon. And we will go ahead and gain a class counter. I'm pretty sure I should take guard here for what I want to do, actually. Yeah, I'll take the... No, let's make it interesting. We'll go ahead and take our magic counter. So I'm going to go ahead and play this advanced card, Fire Rain. This lets me deal 4 spell damage as I choose among any number of targets. And we're just going to go ahead and spend all 3 of these cores. So we're going to go ahead and do 7 damage across this. So we're going to deal 2 damage to kill this, 1 damage to kill this, and that's going to put 4 damage on Doran over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So multiple things triggered at the same time because I have to do the punishing effect for Shepherd of the Swarm, and I also have Fan the Flame. So when this happens, you do all of your turn stuff goes off first, and then you resolve the bosses in any order. So I've finished playing Fire Rain. Fan the Flames triggers, which says because I spent free energy on a single card, I can discard up to 3 cards, draw that many cards, and then if I discard it in attack and a defense, I get a magic counter. So we're just going to go ahead and throw 1, 2, 3 out, draw 3 cards, and we'll go ahead and get our magic counter. And then we'll end our turn. So we come back to Doran. Doran is going to go ahead and make another Spiderling. This is a guard. We haven't seen this one before. This one has taunt, so before I can hit anything else, I'm going to have to kill this one first. It also can't attack the turn that it's manifested, so all I have to do is nudge that out of the way before we do anything else. And we're also going to get a Spider's Nest. So Spider's Nest can't attack, but at the end of the turn, it makes a number of Spiderlings equal to the boss tier. So if you remember, that's boss tier 1. So we'll see another Spiderling. The boss is not going to make any attacks this turn, and we're going to go ahead and manifest a Spiderling. Lucky for us, it's the end of the boss's turn, so this Frenzied will not be attacking. Play comes back to us, and we have no cards in our deck. So the first thing we're going to do is reload and draw a card. This causes Doran to get a Titan counter, and when we get to 4 of those, bad things are going to happen to me. So what I want to do here is I've got to make sure that this Spider Nest doesn't stay in play for too long because this will get out of hand the longer I leave it, but I have to kill this guard first. So we're going to go ahead and Fire Blast the guard and watch us send Lava Bomb to the junk folder again. We do overkill the guard, so we're going to go ahead and get a counter. Next, I'm going to go ahead and Fire Blast the nest. We don't overkill the nest because it has 2 HP, so we won't get a magic counter. And then I will make sure we keep some pressure up on the boss by dealing another 2. And I did forget to use our Solar Raider's boon. So what I'll just do is I'll just take the free guard here just to keep it fair for everybody. Okay, that's all of my energy. I've spent free energy this turn. We're running low on cards, but we've got a good way of topping ourselves back up. Plus, we can take the extra card from our boon if we need to. So we're going to come back to Doran, and Doran has less than 3 Spiderlings, so they're going to go ahead and manifest a Spiderling. It's another guard and play the top card of their deck. Of course, it's another Spider's Nest. So in this case, the only minion that can attack this turn is the Frenzied Spiderling. We can see it has 1 attack, so we're going to reduce our guard by 1. Not enough to get any damage through. Next, we're going to go and resolve the effect of the Spider's Nest, which creates another Spiderling. And then play comes back to me. At the start of my turn, we go ahead and expire that guard. We draw a card, and where are my advanced cards when you need them? I will take the opportunity to draw an additional card this turn, and we are going to get rewarded with a Fire Rain. Let's see, 3. Okay, so the way we want to play this turn out is we're going to go ahead and slam down our Fire Rain, and we're going to go ahead and pump it up by 2. So we're going to split 6 damage. We have a Taunt minion in play, so we have to make sure that this is targeted by at least 1 point of damage from this card in order to be able to affect anything else. So we're going to kill this one, that's 3. We'll kill 1, 4, and we'll put 2 damage into Doran, so we'll bring the boss down another 2. And then we're going to resolve Fan the Flames. I'm just going to go ahead and discard all 3 of these cards and draw 3. But what you'll notice is I didn't discard a defense card, so I'm not going to be able to get my magic counter from that. With that, I've spent 3 energy, and that's going to end my turn. So we come back to Doran. Doran is going to go ahead and spawn a Spiderling. This one's not going to be able to attack. And then we're going to play the next card. Oh, attack pheromones. So this is an example of a card that works different if you're playing a full game versus if you're playing solo. So some of the cards will say on them, if solo, do something else, or it will explain how that card works a little bit differently. The reason we did this in development was I didn't want to ruin cards that were fun for multiplayer to make them work in solo if a little extra line can explain how you can resolve it. So this one's actually harsher on you if you're in solo. So uh, all Spiderlings get +1 attack until end of turn. So that's both of these guys. This one can attack, so we're going to take, we've got 2 going to be coming in from here. And then we manifest X Spiderlings, where X is the number of robots, and that's going to be 1. So we're going to get another one of these. And then this very angry frenzied spider is going to go ahead and hit me for 2. So we're going to go down another 2 HP. With that all said and done, we come back to my turn. I'm going to draw a card, and what I need to do here is keep in mind that when the boss falls below half HP, which will be this turn, I have to discard 2 cards. So I need to figure out how I'm going to stay afloat if I do this. So what I am going to do is take my free guard from my Solar Rager's boon. So this card, free guard. This is going to make sure that we stay a little bit safe here. And then I'm going to go ahead and play Lava Bomb. Lava Bomb deals 3 damage to the boss and 1 damage to each minion. So we go to the boss, 1, 2, 3, and then we deal 1 damage to everything. Now remember, we do all of our effects first. So I'm going to go ahead and discard 3 cards, 1, 2, 3, which is going to cause us to reload and draw 3 cards. So now we've discarded an attack and a defense card. Fan the Flames will give us a magic counter. Now we resolve Doran's effects. So we're going to have to send cards from the top of our deck to the graveyard equal to the number of Spiderlings killed, and we killed 3 of them. So we're going to go ahead and do that. 1. Oh no, my luck. Okay, we're going to go ahead and send 3. I have to discard down to 2 cards. Discard 2 cards even, so we're going to go ahead and bin these 2 off. And then what else have we got? Oh yeah, we've reloaded. So the boss is going to go to 2 Titan counters. So we've got to get this 9 HP down before we get to 4. So yeah, it's getting a little bit spooky. So we're going to come back to the boss's turn now and play a Spiderling. It's going to be a Spiderling guard. And then the top card is an infected host. So we've not seen this one yet. If this minion dies, it creates 2 Spiderlings. So this one's actually kind of difficult to kill, especially as the mage, because it has 2 HP. We don't get overkill when we kill it. So this is one of the weaknesses of the mage. If you're not actively killing things with overkill, you're going to run out of steam. So that will then mean I can't take my free guard from Solar Raider's boon, because I need to take the draw cards, and I'm going to have to spend my magic counters on my ignite. So you want to keep that in mind with the mage when you're playing in team play. So minions can attack the turn that they are played. So Infected Host will attack for 2. We reduce our guard. And we're fine. We take no damage from that. And then that's the end of the boss's turn. So for my turn, I'm going to go ahead and draw a card and see what we get first. I do believe I will take the extra card. Oh, I don't like that so much. Okay. We are going to go ahead and overkill this. I just got to remember the Spiderlings need to be over on this pile. Let's not shuffle those back into the boss's deck. Since we got overkill, we get a counter, and then we send 1 Fire Rain. Oh, no, it's not. This isn't a spider minion, so we can kill this without getting punished. I think I will. Yeah, I will kill this. And then we're going to go ahead and manifest 2 Spiderlings. 1, 2. We're in a bit of an interesting spot here because I can use my Ignite to draw 2 cards. And that gives us a 66% chance of getting our Fire Rain back. However, if I kill one of these Spiderlings, there is a 33% chance that we just go ahead and lose that card. And we're also running a little bit low on our clock here with these Titan counters. I'm going to lose 2 HP. Since we know we've got Fire Rain coming up, what I think I actually want to do is just go ahead and put 2 damage into the boss. Yeah, we're going to take quite a bit of damage here. 1, 2, I believe. And then I'm going to end my turn. So, we got no cards in hand, but don't worry, I believe in us. Start of the boss's turn, we have less than 3 minions, so we're going to go ahead and spawn another Spiderling. This one can't attack. Top card of the deck, it is another Infected Host. Oh, they're so fun. So then we're going to come to the boss's attacks. So the boss is going to attack me for 2, 1, 2. Frenzied Spiderling is going to attack me, and then the regular Spiderling is going to attack me. So this is really bad. If we were playing a full raid, and we're going through all 3 of the bosses, your HP doesn't fully heal after each encounter, so I'm taking quite a bit of damage here. But it's letting us do a lot of fun stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and carry on. That's the end of the boss's turn, so we're going to go ahead and draw a card. We know in our next 2 cards that we have Fire Rain, which would be 4. We can't really afford to spend the counters on it, though. That's the problem. We know Lava Bomb's in here, so it's a Fire Shield and a Fire Rain that's in here. I will take the Solar Raider's Boon to draw an additional card. Oh, no, I was wrong. It was another Fire Blast. Cool. Okay, so that means if we kill one of these Spiderlings, we'll lose our Rain of Fire. But what we can do is, yeah, we'll spend 2. So we'll draw a card using our Ignite power. So at this point, we reload because we need to draw another card. And then we can't draw for our next turn. So I'm going to use this coin because that's the effect of Ignite. So what we can do here is we're going to also put the boss up to 3 Titan counters. We don't have any defensive cards. I don't like this. I think I'm okay just killing these 3. We will probably lose Lava Bomb again, but I think that'll be okay. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and we'll just go ahead and kill these. That's going to give us 3 magic counters. 1, 2, 3. There's a kind of a misplay. You could argue that's a misplay because Fan the Flames, we want to discard these cards to draw more cards. And then we've got to send 3 of these cards to the junk folder. 1, 2, 3. We lose our Lava Bomb again. Oh, okay. So, with that said and done, we don't have any guard. We're playing very loose here, and that's going to really hurt us a little bit later on. We're going to come up onto... Oh, quick question, chat. Were we on 3 of these Titan counters before I did that? Can anybody remember there? I haven't adjusted this, and I did just reload the deck. So that's actually catastrophically bad for me because I was miscounting it. Essentially, when you get to 4 Titan counters, Doran explodes. So we're going to go ahead and I'm pretty sure we're going to die here. That's kind of embarrassing on the stream. Yep. So Doran is going to go ahead and explode, and we're in trouble. Because at the start of the next turn, the next boss will spawn 5 Spiderlings. Oh, I have horribly misplayed this. Never mind. It's all for the views. So what we do here is at the end of my turn, we go to the loot phase because the boss is defeated. So the first thing we do is we get a random loot card. And we'll go ahead and flip this over. And let's take a look at what we got. We got Ignition Crucible. This is a great one. During your boot sequence, you can discard an attack card to gain 1 magic counter. When you spend free energy on a single card, you can deal 1 damage to any target. This is an attack. So then what we do next is we choose 2 more advanced cards to add to our deck. I do believe that we are in trouble. Very, very bad trouble. And I'm just trying to figure out the best way for us to get out of this. I think it's going to be taking a turbocharge and 1 incinerate. So I'll explain turbocharge when that comes up, or we can just do that now. So this is a interesting card that has some implications if you're playing solo. Target robot gains 2 class counters. Target robot draws 2 cards. Target robot gains 3 guard. Each robot must be targeted at least once. So in this case, we're only one robot. We can put all 3 effects on ourselves. So next thing we do here is we go ahead and reload this, since we're in between bosses, and we draw up to 4 cards. Cool. Next, we got to set up the boss. So boss tier 2, Gazix Hatchery Guardian. What we need to do is go ahead and reload these spiderlings. And then, oh, there's one that's in a place where it shouldn't be. I will figure that out in just a second. So we take the tier 2 cards. In this case, we've got 5 new spiderlings. I'll go ahead and explain these. So we take the spiderlings out, and they're going to get shuffled over here into the spiderling deck. We are missing a card. Where are you? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, it's a basic spiderling. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and just make another one. That'll be easier than me dragging everything over the board trying to figure out where it is. So we give that a good shuffle. And then we take the tier 2 cards. So normally you'll have a pile which will also include the tier 3 cards. But in this case, we're just going to add the Gazix cards, these 5, into the tier 1 deck. So we put these here. We put this here. We flip this over. And we... Ah, I figured out where the spiderling is. It's hidden in here somewhere. Where are you? Where are you? There you are. All right, we don't need you. Shoo. Be gone, spiderling. Right, so we give this a good shuffle, and then we cry. So Gazix, let's talk about the mechanics of Gazix, the Staunch Defender. If this robot is attacked X+1 times during the Raider's turns, so in this case, if I attack it twice, Gazix will manifest X spiderlings, where X is the number of robots. So if I hit it too many times, it makes more spiderlings. If 3 or more spiderlings are killed in a single turn, it deals 3 unpreventable damage to all robots. So that goes through my guard, and there's no way to prevent that, so I'm always going to take the damage. We also heal 3 HP on hardest difficulty when beating the first boss, so we go to 11 to 14. And then we start the boss's turn, and if we remember, I will explain this augment in a second. We did trigger Doran the Coward, so we're going to go ahead and just chuck 5 spiderlings in play, because I'm clearly not long for this world. 4, 5. Okay, we're going to be playing with the Brain Fog augment, which is whenever a robot draws a card, it gains a Titan counter, so there's a limit of that for 5. And during the boss's end sequence, you consume all 5 of those and you make a spiderling. So basically, that will feed into the problem of trying to kill too many spiders at once. We have drawn our new spiderling, which we haven't seen yet because we weren't on tier 2. Can't attack the turn that it's manifested. This minion gains +1 attack for each different spiderling you control. And we got ourselves a nice little full house here, so it's going to have 4 attack. So we're going to want that thing very dead very, very quickly. So Gazik's going to start their turn by playing the top card of the deck, and it is Juggernaut. Deals 2 damage to all robots and gains 4 guard. Does a little river dance, and I'm going to lose 2 HP. Luckily, these can't attack the turn that they're manifested, except this one can. So we're going to go ahead and take an additional 1 and drop to 11. Yikes. And we do have to remember that we used Ignite last turn, so we're going to end up skipping this draw sequence. So we're going to remove this, and now I need to figure out what to do. If I kill 3 of these spiderlings, we're just going to go ahead and take 3 damage. So I don't know if that's ideal. But at the same time, I'm very much a fan of not getting murdered by a prismatic spiderling. We have a new loot card, so Ignition Crucible. We're going to go ahead and discard an attack card to gain a magic counter. We're going to use our Solo Raider's Boon to give us free guard because our HP is not where I want it to be. Next, I will go ahead and play Fire Rain. The boss has 4 guards, so I don't think I need to really consume many of my counters. I can just go ahead and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to spend 1 magic counter, and we're just going to go ahead and kill all of these things. That is going to mean that we get to... Oh, wait. I don't need to even spend that counter. Haha, I'm better than I thought. So Ignition Crucible has a second effect, which is when I spend free energy on a single card, I can deal 1 damage to any target. So we'll go ahead and kill the last Spiderling. At this point, we trigger Fan the Flames. This lets us discard up to 3 cards. We'll go ahead and discard 1 and draw 1 card. We won't get our magic counter for it. Next, Gazix gets angry. We killed more than 3 Spiderlings in a single turn, and we're just going to go ahead and lose 3 HP. Is there anything else I wish to do this turn? I think we haven't drawn any cards yet, so the key thing is we haven't put any counters on this Brain Fog. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and draw 3 cards. And our hand size limit is 6, by the way. I know I haven't explained this at the beginning of the game, and I should have. I do apologize. This means if you have more than 6 cards at the end of your turn, you have to start discarding at the end of your turn. BMV Films, I have either made a terrible mistake and made this harder for me, or we were exactly on time. We will figure it out after the game when I watch the VOD. And if anybody else, I do apologize if we've decided to make this much harder than it needs to be. But let's see how we do, because I'm in a rough spot in terms of HP. That's all of the plays that I can make for this turn. So I'm going to pass over to Gazix. Gazix Guard expires, and we just go ahead and play the top card of the deck. Heart of the Swarm. So remember, this card scales based on the boss tier. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and manifest Spiderlings equal to the boss tier. Gazix is tier 2. So we're going to go ahead and make 2 Spiderlings. 1, 2. This is also going to give Gazix 2 guard. Gazix is also on 30 HP, so we should probably set that up as well. This will attack me, but we're not going to take any damage because we have guard this turn, so that's pretty good. And then from here, we can end the boss's turn. Boss still doesn't have 5 Titan counters, so we will not be triggering Brain Fog. So we're going to go ahead and remove this one. And we can get a magic counter just by discarding this. So I think we're going to do that because of our Ignition Crucible. We'll go ahead and cash. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. If we want to trigger Fan the Flames this turn, we don't want to do that. What I will do for this turn is I'll go ahead and Lava Bomb. So this will deal 3 damage to the boss and 1 damage to each of the minions. And we'll go ahead and take our free guard off of the Solar Raider's Boon as well. So we're going to go ahead and reduce the boss by 1 HP. Kill both of these. We only killed 2 Spiderlings, so we won't trigger. We'll next do our Ignition Crucible to ping the boss for another damage. And then we'll do our Fan the Flames, and we'll just go ahead and discard 2. Draw 2. And we'll get a magic counter. Boss gets a Titan counter because we drew 2 cards, so we're going to go up to 5. And I think I'm in a pretty okay position. We've got some guard, we've got some magic counters, we've got a big attack, and we're going to be able to trigger our Fan the Flames again next turn. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. So Gazix is going to go ahead and play the top card, and it is Brood Guardian. So the boss gains 5 guard, and then all attacks have to target Gazix, and this unless Gazix gets guard broken. So that's actually a really good time for it to come down because all the Spiderlings are gone. Can you imagine how awful that would have been if that would have been the first card off the top of Gazix's deck when we started this round? Started this boss? So yeah, then play comes back to us, but we then consume all 5 Titan counters and we make a Spiderling. So for my turn, we haven't used our Ignite, so we will draw a card. Gazix will go ahead and get 1. I think what I want to do here is I could turbocharge, actually. Turbocharge is very strong here. So we're going to go ahead and play this. So if you remember, this lets us get 2 class counters, draw 2 cards, gain 3 guard. So we're going to go to 6 guard. Because I'm just going to use the Solar Raider's Boon for this. We'll get 2 class counters. We'll draw 2 cards. Boss is also going to go to 3. Then I'll trigger, because I played a free cost card, the Ignition Crucible. So we'll go ahead and kill that for free. Next, we'll trigger our Fan the Flames. So we'll go ahead and discard this is a great time to discard free cards. Draw free cards. 1. We're going to get the reload. Draw 2. And we're going to get our magic counter because we discard an attack and a defense card. And the boss is going to go up to its maximum of 5 Titan counters. So we were able to overdraw the boss so that we don't have to, we essentially get a free draw without giving the boss more resources. That's going to end my turn. So the boss's guard is going to expire and then the boss will play the next card. That is overwhelming numbers. Deal 2 damage, then manifest 2 spiderlings. So we're going to go 1, 2. We're going to take 2 damage and go to 4. Those spiderlings can't attack. End of the turn, Kha'Zix's Brain Fog will trigger, giving it another spiderling. Okay, we're going to go ahead and draw a card for our turn. Go ahead and set Kha'Zix up on 1. We don't want to kill all 3 of these. So Kha'Zix doesn't have any guard actually, so this is a really good turn to use our Solar Raider's Boon for free guard. I will Fire Blast these 2 things. We got to kill the one with Taunt first. Oh, that is actually kind of awkward because we're going to miss out on our magic counters. I'm actually okay with that. So we'll go ahead and chuck those away. Then next I will play Incinerate on the boss, and I'll go ahead and charge that up by. We can go up to 5. I'm pretty happy to go 5. So we're increasing the spell damage. So we're gonna deal 9 spell damage to the boss. So we're gonna put the boss down to 19. We got free guard. We haven't drawn any additional cards or done anything weird, so I think we're in a good spot there. So we're going to come back to Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is going ahead and play a Jumping Hunting Spider. Oh, curses. Okay. So this is going to attack, reducing our guard by 2, and then we're going to deal 2 damage to us. So I'm just going to go ahead and lose 1 HP. Not particularly great. Next, that's everything the boss can do. No, this was still in play, so that's also going to hit me for 1. Ouch. Okay, so we come back to my turn here. We're going to draw a card and then decide what we want to do with our Solar Raiders Boon. So the cool thing with anything that goes off in your boot sequence is that you can decide the order you want to do it. So you can draw your card for your turn, or you can do your Solar Raiders Boon first, or if you've got other things to trigger, just put it in the order that gives you the best advantage. We wanted to make Robot Raiders super flexible so that you had the opportunity to have these really cool plays. I am in a bit of a bind here. Actually, what we can do is all attacks deal +1 damage this turn. Oh, this is gonna be cheeky. Uh, so what we're gonna do is spend our free energy on turbocharge, which is gonna give us 2 cores, 2 cards. So we're gonna give the boss for the draw for turn. Actually, if I do this, draw for turn, and then we've just drawn an extra 2 cards, so we're gonna do that. And then we're going to gain free guard. And the cool thing that we're going to do is we're going to use our Ignition Crucible, which counts as an attack, to deal 2 damage to get that Jumping Hunting Spider out of my face. Next, we're going to do Fan the Flames. So I'm going to go ahead and discard 3 cards to 3. Draw 3 cards, hopefully get some more advanced cards. That's cool. 1, 2, 3. Put the boss up to 5, so we've managed to cheat the mechanic a little bit. And then that's going to end my turn. So play comes back to Kha'Zix, and Kha'Zix is going to go ahead and play another Heart of the Swarm. So this is going to manifest 2 spiderlings. 1, 2. And then the boss is going to go ahead and gain free guard. These spiderlings are not going to get through my free guard this turn, because this one's the only one that can attack. And that's going to deal 1 to us, but we're completely fine. So, end of turn, Brain Fog triggers, and we make another spiderling. So we're in a bit of a sticky situation here, because if I do Lava Bomb, I'm going to take 3 damage, and then we're getting very low. And we also have to consider when we get the boss to 50% HP, we're going to trigger this. So, start of turn, we're going to draw a card. Fire Rain. I don't hate that. We're going to go ahead and give the boss this. We'll take our free guard. Yeah, we'll take our free guard. And then for this turn, we're going to go Fire Blast, Fire Blast to kill these two. We'll get our 2 magic counters. And then I will fire. I could fire. There's no point fire blasting the boss here, so we're going to go ahead and shield ourselves for 6. Play's going to come back to the boss. So, boss is going to go ahead and play a top card. It is a infected host. So we're actually okay here because we're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4. Puts our guard down to 2, and we make it through. So, we come back to me, and we're going to have to reload. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. We're going to set the boss to 2 Titan counters and figure out what we do here. I think this one's actually pretty cut and dry. We go ahead and take our free guard. You can be much more flexible with this, like by taking the additional attack damage or drawing cards or class counters. I think in this situation, we have access to a very good lava bomb here, because there's only 2 spiderlings in play, and this is a very hard card for us to play if we don't do that. So we're going to go ahead and lava bomb. So this will deal 3 damage to the boss. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll deal 1 damage to everything on the opponent's table. So that's going to leave this infected host on 1 HP. Oh, we don't want to draw the infected host. That would be a little bit overpowered if the robots could do that. We played a free cost card, so we are going to discard. Wait, we can actually do this a little bit differently, right? Because we've got the Ignition Crucible. So the Ignition Crucible can deal its 1 damage to kill this off. And then we do our Fan the Flames. So go ahead and discard 3 cards to draw 3 cards. We'll get a magic counter because we discarded an attack and a defense card. And then we resolve the boss's effects. So we're going to go ahead and do the infected host. That's going to go ahead and make 2 of these guys. And we've definitely put the boss on 5 counters. So yeah, then I think that's everything. We've got a very juicy Fire Rain next turn. So we're going to come back to the boss's turn. So Gazix is going to go ahead and play the top card. It is a Juggernaut. So it's going to deal 2 guard damage. The boss is going to gain 4 guard. And then I'm going to get attacked for 2. So we are going to lose another HP. But then it's the boss's end turn. We're going to go ahead and make another Spiderling. For our turn, what we're going to do here is draw a card. Give the boss 1 of its Titan counters. Again, I think we're just going to go ahead and take the free guard. And part of me really wants to play that Fire Rain, but because the boss has guard, I don't think that's... We know all the boss's guard cards are now here. The boss has 1 card in deck. That is Spit Venom. Okay, so we haven't seen Spit Venom this entire game, but knowing that is very powerful because that means it deals 8 guard damage. So it doesn't damage my HP, but it does mean that I get guard broken. So what do we do here? Having guard is kind of useless. But I know the boss can't attack. If I kill all 3 of these, we're going to take a ton of damage. Decisions. I can play this and get ourselves some guard. We don't need the counters. I do think we play... If I pay 5 and we go ahead and put this up to 9. 1, 2... We put 7 into the boss, and then I have to discard 2 cards. Okay, yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to do a big Fire Rain. So we're going to go ahead and spend all 5 of these counters. So that's going to deal 9 damage divided as I choose. So I'll go ahead and kill these 2. We won't kill that guy. We'll deal 4 here, and then we're going to get the boss down another 3 HP. Next, we're going to use our Ignition Crucible to go ahead and ping the boss again. Then we can discard up to 3 cards. So we'll go ahead and bin 1, 2, draw 2 cards. Boss is going to go to 3 Titan counters. And we discard an attack and a defense. So we're going to go ahead and gain a magic counter. And now we're in a... I'd like to have more hit points, but we're not in the worst spot. So we come back to the boss's turn. Oh, wait, hold on. I thought the boss only had 1 card left in their deck. So this could be... Oh, it is Spit Venom. So it just turns out, yeah, they had 2 cards in their deck. Oh, they had a few cards here. So Spit Venom, 8 guard damage. So if this card is fully guarded, the boss draws a guard. I don't have any guard. So this means that the effect effectively does nothing. So this is kind of like the example of once you know how the game plays, you can start strategizing around these kinds of things. This is not too bad. We're going to go ahead and take another point of damage here and go down to 4 life. And then play is going to come back to us. And we're going to go ahead and draw a card and set the boss to 4. What I feel like doing here is taking the free guard, because now I know Spit Venom isn't there. That's not so bad. So we can go ahead and Fire Blast to kill this, get ourselves an overkill counter. We can go ahead and spike the boss for 5, 6, 7. So we'll go ahead and deal 7 damage to the boss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now we've got 1 energy left. I will... Let's see, what could the boss do? Oh, it's because I've hit the interface. That'll be why I can't see some things. Boss has 6 cards here. Let me take a quick gander. These are down. We could be jumping Hunting Spider. Oh, that would be pretty bad. So yeah, we're going to spend our last energy playing a Fire Shield. So this is going to go ahead and put us to 6 guard. Then I'm going to end my turn. So play comes back to the boss. Boss is going to go ahead. It's jumping Hunting Spider. Oh, some days you just have it going on. So the boss is going to go ahead and attack. That's going to reduce us by 2. And then we're going to take 2. And then we're going to be completely fine. And then play comes back to myself. And I think for this turn, we are in actual fact going to take +1 damage from our Accelerator's Boon, but I will draw the card first. Yeah, we're going to take +1 damage. And I'll go ahead and play Turbocharge. So we're going to get 2 counters. 1, 2. We're going to get 2 guard. 3 guard, sorry. And we're going to draw 2 new cards. We have to reload, but since we're in the middle of resolving this effect, this won't get reloaded. So we'll go ahead and shuffle this up, draw 1. And then we're going to play our Fan the Flames ability. So we're going to go ahead and discard 1, 2, 3, draw 3 cards. And then we're going to use our Ignition Crucible to deal 1 damage to this. And because we've got +1 damage, we can just go ahead and kill this. And the boss is definitely on 5. And we're in a very good position now to end this on the next round. So let's do this. We're going to play another card off the top of Duran's deck. It is a Spider's Nest. So this scales based on the boss tier. So it's going to manifest 2 Spiderlings during the end turn. So now we're in a situation where we come to the end of turn. The boss is going to go ahead and make 2 Spiderlings. And then it's going to consume its counters, the Titan counters, to make another Spiderling. And remember I said whenever this is empty, we just go ahead and reload it. Okay, so play comes back to me. We have to clear everything. Well, we need to kill these 2 and this. I'll draw my card first before deciding what I want with my Solar Raider's Boon. Where's my Lava Bomb? Ah, Lava Bomb would be very difficult because it wouldn't actually. Oh, actually, Lava Bomb would be perfect, and I could show off another mechanic. Can I get to it? If I draw the additional card, I draw one, and then I've got two more draws to get to it. Yeah, I'll take the additional card draw. Clearly, we don't get there. I will take +1 damage from my. Oh no, we've drawn the extra card, so we can't do that now. Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do is this is really dangerous because I might actually die if I don't shield. Um. Okay. So I don't want rain fire. Uh, we haven't played it yet, so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and ignite. Draw two cards. We're not gonna be able to play this next one. We can't take the +1 damage. But we can kill the boss if we overkill this prismatic. We can incinerate the boss, spend this counter, so the boss will be dead. So now I don't have to worry about any extra stuff. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we can go ahead and shield ourselves for free. Cool. And then we come back to the boss's turn. So normally this is where you'd put Vindra in play, and I would never ever consider starting a Vindra fight with a Spider's Nest in play. And we do additional looting. We'd also do some upgrades. But since this is as far as the stream's going to go, when I beat the second boss, I just have to clear these things and we'll be good. And since there's no boss in play, boss's tier is equal to 0. So the only thing the boss can do is attack me for 1, 2, 3, and we're completely fine. Play comes back to us. We'll go ahead and take our +1 damage and we'll Lava Bomb. So we deal 2 damage to everything. No, we deal 1 damage to everything, and then we'll use our Ignition Crucible to shoot the nest. So that will give us game. So we have successfully defeated Gazix and Doran. Now this is an awful situation because when Vindra comes in, I'd have to play, if I'm playing with the survival mode rules, I'm going to be very, very low on life, and Vindra can just kill you in a lot of ways out of nowhere. But this should give you a very good overview of sort of like how the solo mode plays. And you can expand this out. If you've got additional robots, what you do for the boss's turn is for each robot, you just play an extra card off the top of the boss's deck. And this makes it super easy. So if you are by yourself, and for example, you're in the airport or something like that, you can just sit down and play. You can set the bosses up. So if you just want to if you just want to practice the Gazix encounter, or if you just want to make this harder, you can go ahead and put this in play. You can do double augments and stuff like that. There's many, many different ways that you can massively scale up the difficulty. The key thing that we wanted with Robot Raiders was for people to have fun and make the game as challenging or as accessible as they need to for their playing groups. So yeah, that is a solo boss run on the S tier, our highest difficulty for the first two bosses. I did promise a preview today as well, so let's jump over to our talking section. So for our preview, I am going to go ahead and show off one of the tier 3 cards. So this will be one of the cards in Vindra's deck, just so you get an idea of how the power level scales. So we're going to be using this card, Web Spray. So Web Spray has a choose 2 effect. Each robot discards a card, gain 4 guard, or manifest an Assassin Spiderling. The Assassin Spiderlings are horrific. I will go ahead and show you what the Assassin Spiderling does in a second so you can understand the context of this card. But if we were playing solo, which we just were, you do all of them in order. So basically, this card is extra harsh on you if you are playing in that solo environment. So to explain what this is, the Assassin Spiderling, these are the Spiderlings that go into Vindra's deck. So when you get to tier 3, you take all the tier 2 cards out, so that'll be the Prismatic Spiderlings and all the Gazix cards out, and then you put the tier 3 cards in with the tier 1 cards, and you have a 20 card deck for Vindra. So this is using some prototype art. So, like for example, we mentioned on our Kickstarter, we're looking to get a bunch of new artworks made for some of our cards. So I do want to go ahead and show you this. The Assassin Spiderling is a 2/1 Spiderling that can attack the turn it's manifested. If this card ever deals unguarded damage, that robot gains a Venom counter. I'm not going to explain how the Venom counters work because they're part of Vindra's key kit, but I will say you do not want Venom counters. Like, even 2 or 3 can cause havoc on a party. So these things ever hitting you is really, really bad. But the other thing that makes these very challenging to deal with is that if it dies, it deals 1 damage to the robot that killed it. So your team are going to have to figure out who's going to be responsible for managing the assassin spiderlings, because you're gonna have to make sure that character has guard before you kill them, because it will deal you damage. You'll get a venom counter. So, for example, if we didn't have guard and we just went ahead and played lava bomb, we'd go ahead and get ourselves stuck with the venom counters, and that will make Vindra's fight so much harder. But yeah, that is a full run through. I hope you enjoyed this, and it gives you a little bit more confidence when you want to come and support the game. If you're trying to understand, will this work if I'm just playing by myself, I don't have a friend group, or if I have a full friend group? You can play 3 robots against the boss, automated. You just play the top 3 cards off the boss's deck every turn. You use the solo effects on the boss's cards, and then you don't play with the Solo Raiders boon. You only use the boon if you have 1 or 2 robots. So the solo mode does scale up, and all of it obviously works if you've got 4 players as well. So yeah, that is going to wrap it up here on our side. Thank you so much for everyone who came along to watch us live. Really, really appreciate you. Our Kickstarter is going live on March 31st. So if you haven't already, we do invite you to come follow our page. We'd love every support you can get. And yeah, we're really looking forward to the launch. We really want you guys to get your hands on the game. Those fights play out completely differently. If you're playing with the Ranger or if you're playing with the Paladin, you're going to choose different upgrades. You can choose different advanced cards. You can really, really style the game around whatever playstyle you want. But from my side, that's going to be everything. And I'm going to wish you all a very good night. And we'll catch you again real soon, hopefully just before the launch of the Kickstarter campaign. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care.